Now, if it's one thing that we know in America is that the rich people, they got it bad. I mean, not only are they blamed for hoarding all the wealth, I mean, look, 8 people only hold half the wealth of the world. That's not that bad, right? No, but they get blamed for that, and it's so incredibly unfair. And look, another thing, only most of the gains went to the rich, okay? But still, we demonize them every day. And look, by demonizing, who demonizes them? Well, it's progressives, right? So they always get demonized by the progressives and by all those people. And look, the whole point is it's so hard to be rich, okay? Here to explain it even more is Democratic New York City Council member Fernanda Cabrera.
Do you know it's harder being rich than being poor? I know you don't believe what I just said. But being rich, you got more responsibility. You have more things. When you work 9 to 5 and you just maintaining, okay, I got my thing. When you are rich, you have more things to worry. Millionaire people, they have a lot of stuff to worry about, more stuff to manage, more stuff. It's really got there because of their ability to handle more pressure. Every CEO, every president that got in there and stay there is because of their ability to handle pressure. They had increased their capacity. You know why your boss pays you what he pays you? Because of your capacity.
It is so hard being a rich person compared to being a poor person. Okay, well, hey, why don't we trade places? Hey, rich person, why don't you give me your money? And look, hey, if it's such a burden, I'd be happy to take it off your hands. Okay, that is a burden that I am willing to bear. Okay, I am willing to bear that. I'm sure I can even handle the responsibility. Get a hold of me. DM me on Twitter or something, okay? We'll work something out. Seriously, though. This guy, how tone deaf is this dude? Oh, rich people, they've got so much more responsibility, so much pressure compared to poor people. Man, you just go in and you work your 9 to 5 and you get your thing and you go home. Whereas rich people, they've got to work so hard. Really? You want to talk about pressure? Oh, I'll talk about pressure. How about having bill collectors call you at all times of the day when you don't have money to pay them? I mean, you can either pay the bill collector or you can keep the lights on or buy food. That's pressure. Just saying. How about having to run to your second job knowing that you'll still have to to come home to take care of your house and your kids that you barely get to see because you have 2 uniquely American jobs? Just saying. How about the pressure of making sure that you can afford to feed your family and pay the bills on a minimum wage paycheck? Now, that is pressure. Okay? Now, this guy, see, unlike this guy, I actually understand that, yes, there are CEOs that do work incredibly hard. Business owners have their challenges, obviously. Now, many of them even put in long hours and work very hard. And they have to take time off of family to make sure that their business grows and is successful. And that can be stressful, and there are pressures that aren't always easy. Now, I get that. But I'm not out there completely saying, no, all rich people are 100% lazy. This guy is saying all poor people are 100% lazy. I get it. He doesn't. He thinks, no, you clock in, you clock out, you get a paycheck. It's easy peasy. That doesn't say anything about the pressures of working a minimum wage job and how those wages have not kept up with inflation and have not kept up with productivity. And by the way, there is no state in America where you can afford a 2-bedroom apartment on minimum wage. It's just not possible. You can't work a 40-hour job. In some states, you have to work crazy amounts of hours, 100 hours. Let me give you an example. There was a new recent study that came out and that said that if you want to have a 2-bedroom apartment in LA, you need to make over $100,000 a year. $100,000. You serious? That's an apartment. That's equal to $29 an hour. Now for New York, where this guy is, he's a councilman there. Well, I can't imagine it's that much different since New York and LA have some of the highest housing prices in America. And of course, the Bay Area and San Francisco should also be included in here. The Bay Area is actually one of the more expensive, like one of the most expensive places in the United States to get housing. And look, the minimum wage there is $15 an hour. But you need double that just to afford an apartment. Man. So basically, okay, now, there's one more thing I want to touch on here. And he said, do you know why your boss pays you what he pays you? Because of your capacity. He says rich people got more capacity. They can handle more. But poorer people, they don't have that capacity. So basically, you make the minimum wage because you have minimum capacity. No. See, here's the thing. You know why your boss actually pays you the minimum wage? Because he thinks, I would pay you less if I could. They don't actually want to pay you. But what they're doing is that they're, since the minimum wage is there, they have a floor of which they can't pay you any less. Okay? By law. Now, this guy means is basically poor people don't have the capacity to be rich. And since they don't have the capacity, well, they don't deserve to be rich. They deserve to be poor. While rich people, well, they get there through their own hard work, their own gumption. And, that's why they're better. That's why they're superior. Okay? And while there's a lot of people that do work very, very hard to get wealthy in America, there's just as many that get rich because they happen to be a member of the Lucky Sperm Club. So, now, finally, last thing. Now, I mentioned that this guy was a Democrat. Okay? Now, this is the kind of rhetoric that you would expect from a Republican. But again, this guy is he's a Democrat. He's a New York Democrat. This is something that you might expect in, like, West Virginia or Louisiana or Alabama. This guy's in fucking New York. What? Okay. Now, let me give you some history about this guy, because it turns out that he's not just socially conservative or not socially conservative, but economically conservative. He's also socially conservative. Now, he's actually taken money from GOP pro-life donors and has graduated from Liberty University. Not only that, but I've got a video here where Cabrera actually praised the government of Uganda while they're in the middle of their anti-gay push. Let's take a look at that video.
Gay marriage is not accepted in this country, even when the United States of America has put pressure and has told Uganda, we're not going to fund you anymore unless you allow gay marriage, and they have stood in their place. Why? Because the Christians have assumed the place of decision making for the nation. Abortions are illegal here. Things that Christians really stand for. Why? Because the Christians here took the opportunity to take the rightful place.
The Christians have taken their opportunity to take their rightful place. You know what he's advocating for? Religious government. He's like, oh, Uganda, the Christians, they're so fantastic. They outlawed abortion and gay marriage. Ooh, I love it. This guy's a Democrat. What the fuck? And he's on the New York City Council. Jesus Christ, dude. I can't even. But you know what? I'm gonna not do further commentary on that, and I'm just gonna let the video stand for itself. That's how bad it is. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.